Okay, we are going live. You're live, according to YouTube. Fantastic. Now just give me a minute to get all this sorted here. Okay, fantastic. I know it always takes me a few minutes to get all the clicking done and figure out and get all the different parts in alignment. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. So glad you're here with me this morning on Monday, January 11th, 2021. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. It's already just flying by. Oh, you're so welcome, Diane. I'm so glad you're here. And Ricardo, hello. Barbara, Gerda, great to see you all here today. I so appreciate you being here because I can't really do this without you. Well, I mean, I guess I could, but, well, it just would not be the glorious, collaborative, co-creative experience that it is. So thank you for being here. And I just wanted to give you all a heads up because January and the beginning of February is the time in the Beloved Publications community or Mothers community where things move really rapidly. I have our annual life-changing, extraordinary course, online course coming up, School of Love 2021. But before that, I do, Mother and I do a free 3-class School of Love Masterclass series to serve in 2 ways. One, you can take the free each class, the information that's given, the energy that's given, and have a pathway for conscious transformation. And the masterclass also serves a second important role in introducing people to the longer course, the School of Love course, which is an incredibly in-depth, amazing experience because it's a live course. You don't have to participate live. Everything's recorded, just like here. So you can come here live and have this live experience, or you can wait and watch the video later. Totally up to you. But it's a live course that takes place over many months, from the beginning of February to just towards the end of May, with 1 break in March, 1 week break in March. But it is such an in-depth and comprehensive course for transforming the challenges in your life. But this year, instead of having everyone choose their own challenge, which is what Mother had done in the past 3 years that we've done it, this year, everyone's going to focus on self-worth, the challenge of expanding your self-worth. And I am so excited about this. I just can't tell you. I'm so excited. So I will, in the live streams coming up, I will be posting the link to register for that, the masterclass series, the free masterclass series. But you can also go to my website, belovedpublications.com, and sign up to get the emails that I send out. And that way you're absolutely sure to get the registration information that you need in order to be a part of that. So excited. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's begin. Hello, beloved ones. How wonderful to be with you today, individually and collectively. Even though you are in your individual space, participating in this experience, you are all connected. All those that are watching live now, all those that will watch the video later, you are all connected. And so I welcome each one of you. It is important to take time and acknowledge the oneness that exists. Not just amongst human beings, right? It's not just the souls of humans that are a part of that oneness, but it is all beings in creation, all living beings, insects, animals, birds, fish, people, trees, grass, the air, the water, the earth, all are one. And as such, what happens to you happens to everyone and everything. And what happens to others happens to you. What happens to the animals happens to you. And the deeper you go into your own exploration of yourself and the divine, whether that divinity comes to you through nature, through your higher self, through an entity or presence such as myself, or all of that. However the divine expresses itself within you, the deeper you go into that, the more you discover the interconnectedness of all things. The harder it becomes to live solely a separate life. You have to put more effort into imposing your singular will. You have to put more effort into hanging on to feelings of loneliness or isolation. And the work that you put into that can be exhausting. But I come to you today to ask that you open your mind beyond black and white thinking. Has to be this or that. But you can be a unique individual having your own experience as a human being while being fully connected and as one with all beings. That both are happening together simultaneously. And it's not even as if they're two sides of the same coin of existence. That implies somewhat of a separation, right? A coin, the sides of a coin are separated by the edges of that coin. But when it comes to individuality and oneness, it's the same. There is no separation. You are granted the gift of perception. You are granted the gift of free will or free choice. You are granted the gift of being able to recognize yourself as yourself. You are granted the gift of being able to perceive your own thoughts, your own choices, your own perceptions, while also having that deep connection to the perceptions of all. And the deeper you go into consciousness, the more awake and aware you allow yourself to be, the more honest you allow yourself to be with yourself, you start to discover that maybe some of your perceptions and beliefs and choices have been made not from your own soul, your own heart, even your own mind, but they have come from the perceptions directly of others. Your parents, your family of origin, the community in which you were raised. Whether that was culturally, religious, or spiritual beliefs, the laws that are set in place in your communities, the overall beliefs. Oftentimes countries have certain foundational beliefs. So these are all coming from the collective. And discovering your own beliefs can be a lifetime journey. And I encourage you to take that journey. Stay on that journey. Because the more you can discover your own perceptions, your own beliefs, your own choices that stem from your own experience, the deeper you move into your own self, your own consciousness. And when that happens, here's the interesting part, beloved ones. Instead of making you more separate, you actually become more aware of the collective and how deeply you are a part of it. Now, yes, of course, everyone can point to influences, their communities, their family of origin, their education, their religion, all the things that make up their lives has had outside influences. But a lot of people like to believe that they are still their own person, while these influences are there, and some things influence more than others. People like to believe that their choices, their perceptions, their feelings are really only coming from inside of them. And even though there are outside influences on those choices, on those feelings, on those perceptions, that people often believe that they are really making their own choices. But I am telling you, beloved ones, that that is not exactly the truth. It is not one or the other. You are not solely making your own choices, nor is the collective solely making your choices for you. But let yourself move beyond the concept of just influencing. Let yourself fall into that oneness. And what prevents people from doing that is that once you awaken to the oneness, you also awaken to the responsibility of your choices. That you are not just making choices that influence others, but you are making choices that also contribute to the choices of the collective. So when you choose something specific, you are also choosing for the collective. What happens to you happens to all. What happens to others happens to you. So there is your small choice that is beyond influence. It is a choice that adds to the choices of others. Sometimes those choices are in opposition, sometimes they are in harmony. But all of you are making choices together, not only separately. And I don't mean that when you make choices together, you sit in a room and you decide on a consensus and a plan forward, and you say, okay, we're going to take these actions as a group, right? That is the outward manifestation of oneness. But the inner, all the choices you are making alone in a room, without a committee, without a group, you are still choosing for the collective. You are choosing experiences from and for the collective. No one, no human, no animal, no creature does anything in isolation. Simply because you have built 4 walls and a roof and a floor does not isolate you or separate you from the collective. No matter how far out in the woods you live, or on the mountaintop, or in the middle of the ocean on your boat by yourself, no matter how far you are from groups or committees or others, you are never isolated or separate from the collective. So the deeper you go into oneness, the deeper you go into yourself. The deeper you go into yourself, the deeper you go into oneness. And you start to become aware of this interconnectedness. And that it may be that others are choosing for you because you have chosen not to be aware of that presence. And you are choosing for others. And it may be easier not to be aware of that truth, to maintain the illusion that your choices are solely your own. But then you might ask, how does that reconcile with free will? The more honest you are willing to be. And again, the deeper you go into yourself and the oneness of all things, something magical happens. You become much more adept at understanding what your free will really is and what its limitations are. Free will does not mean that you get to do whatever you want whenever you want. You could not maintain that oneness because, again, what you choose is chosen for others. What others choose is choosing for you. What you do happens to others. What they do happens to you. So free will within the oneness means that you are allowed to have an extraordinary level of consciousness. You are able to understand the energy of your choices, the possible consequences or the ramifications. You cannot know the outcome specifically, but you can feel your way through your choices to such an extent that you can feel the impact those choices will have on the collective. Even just the people around you in your life. You have the awareness to evaluate your choices, to look at the risks, the reward, your conscience, your personal moral compass, your inner sense of guidance and direction. That is your free will to have an understanding of the choices you make. And how that impacts yourself and the collective. And the deeper you go, the easier it becomes to make the choices that feel right to you, because they will also have a positive impact on the collective. So going deeper into oneness does not mean that you lose what makes you unique. It does not mean that you lose your personality and you become solely a hive mind with no original thought or no perspective of self as an individual anymore. You actually gain a greater sense of what it means to be a unique individual within the collective, within the oneness. It takes all that separation away, so that not only do you have this greater sense of the impact your choices make, but you also benefit from that feeling of support, that you rise and fall together, that you are never alone. Now you can cling to your beliefs that you are alone, that you are isolated, that ultimately you are separate. But again, that's going to take more and more energy. And that takes a toll on your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body. So when you see and experience something happening out in your world, remember that you are a part of that. You are one with all the people doing whatever it is that they are doing, just as they are all one with you, with what you're doing. That this saying, you're all in this together, this is not a trite kind of throwaway line. That is real. Very, very real. And the days where people can cling to that belief that they are an island or a maverick and they're going to blaze their own trail and do their own thing without a deeper understanding of that interconnectedness, those days are coming to an end. Because the separatist experience is not sustainable. You can do it for thousands and thousands of years. When I say not sustainable, I mean in Earth time, not so much a lifetime for a human. But ultimately, it is not sustainable to life, because life is all about interconnectedness. There is no separation for life, even in death. Live together as one, a little more each day. And that harmony that you crave will grow, become more real to you, and easier to live. And I don't mean to bring this up so that you agonize over every single choice, thinking, how is this going to affect the people in my life? And I have to be outrageously careful with every single decision. No. That is all happening in the mind, and that is feeding your fears and doubts and insecurities. No. You must feel your way into the oneness, because it defies the linear mental thought processes that are common with human beings. You must stretch outward, right? And just allow yourself each day to be open to oneness. Not just with me, but oneness with all humans, no matter what their beliefs are, no matter what their actions are. To be one with them, to be one with all the animals, the insects, the soil, the trees, the sun, the air, the water, Gaia. Just be open, beloved ones. It's not so much that you have to do, but this is very much about being. So to start each day with a prayer of oneness, maybe you can sit down and write it yourself, a little short prayer that for you brings that feeling of oneness to the forefront of your being. And just say that prayer aloud every day. And I promise you, you will open yourself to such extraordinary miracles. A depth of feeling that you did not know existed within you. And not so that you can weep at each tragedy in the world. No. But just to know that you stand with all people. Because you are all one. And when you make your choices, simply ask the one question: does this help to strengthen my connection to the oneness? Does this uplift the oneness? How can I serve the oneness with love today? I thank you for your willingness to wake up. We are one. We are one. We are one. Namaste. Whew. My goodness. Oh, thank you all for being here today. That was, I can tell you all for me living in the US after last week, that is exactly what I needed to hear and be reminded of. That together we rise and together we fall. So how can I serve the oneness today? With love. I like that. That's going to be my question. How can I serve the oneness today with love? And we're doing it right now, right here in this moment. Thank you so much for being willing to serve. And I am going to put the our website right here in the chat, and you can go to the website and sign up for our emails so that you do not miss the School of Love Masterclass this year, 2021. It's going to be awesome. You are so welcome, J.A. Much gratitude to you, Barbara. Thank you for being here. And Cher, so wonderful to see you here as always. Christine, yes, big blessings to our oneness. Maureen, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. Mwah, mwah. Love you, sweetheart. So good to see you here. Oh, I'm so glad, Diane. Yes, it was. She is... I don't think this is going to be the last time we're going to hear this message from her. Mother is on an equality trajectory. No one left behind. That is, yeah, that's what we're doing now. So thank you all. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you back here next Monday live at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And what is that? 11, 12, 1 p.m. Eastern time, US. All right. Have a fantastic week and much love to all of you. Mwah. Bye-bye.